Happy New Year! Happy 2021. I'm excited to be back in the hot seat with you. And you saw the topic New Year, new habits, period. New year, new habits. I think if anything, 2020 taught me that compounded habits yield compounded interest. And we're going to talk about that today. Before I get started, I am your favorite student success strategist, Linnita Hosten. I coach students to identify and go after their dream career. And I absolutely love working with young people. And I never mentioned this, but a part of my passion is because a lot of people worked with me when I was in high school and college. And so I was really privileged. I had a lot of hands on support from very genuine people. And so I think I kind of have been basically sowing what I've reaped over the years. But you know the drill. If you're watching live, you can comment in the chat. Hey, I'm here in the flesh. And if you happen to watch the replay, you can hashtag replay. Listen, I remember back in 2013, I was on the campus of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and I met Dr. Freeman Hebrowski, which is the college president. And he said this quote that I will never, ever forget. He said, watch your words, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And so that entire quote is your thoughts, your words, your actions, your habits, your character, and your destiny. All of those things are things that we can control. And so when we talk about a new year, new habits, essentially we're saying in a self-regulated way, hey, if I can change these small behaviors that I have to get to whatever the goals that I'm looking to achieve, I can have a better year. If I can change these small habits or behaviors that I have, I can get to the goal of having a better year. And for the last week or so, I've been talking with not just the students that I work with, but I've also shared this with the young adults at my church, how to structure your New Year plan. And part of that, for me personally, planning for my New Year starts in the last quarter of the previous year before the new year happened. So this is January, this is October of 2020. That is when I start planning for my new year. And I do that because for the last quarter, I'm thinking for a very long time about what I really want to accomplish. And so it gives me a head start in January. Those habits that we're going to talk about, those habits or behaviors I start to put into play. And so that is how I catapult the new year. And so I kind of had an advantage of a start if you are just beginning to think about what you want to accomplish this new year. So I had an advantage of a start, but it's never too late for you to jump in. So for all of 2021, I am pledging every Thursday night at 8 p.m. I'm calling it Teenage Thursdays. Hey, hello, Deaconess Moses. I'm calling it Teenage Thursdays, where the goal is to provide very practical ways which we can empower, share some practical knowledge. I'll be having some guests over, all in relationship to the behaviors, the characteristics, the attributes that we want to develop in our young people. And so it's called Teenage Thursdays. And so every Thursday, 8 p.m., you can catch me here. But for tonight's discussion, and I promise we will never go over 10 minutes unless it's just so good and you all have questions. I wanted to talk about mapping out your New Year plan with your teen. So when my sister was in her senior year of high school, I taught her why the calendar is so important. So you have a digital calendar on your phone. You can use the iCalendar app. I personally purchased a wall calendar, a dry erase one, or you can purchase one where you can kind of like, it's a paper calendar and then you flip it every month. So to me, a calendar is important because it gives you a visual representation of the time that you have. So the time to accomplish something. And so whenever those days pass by, you cross out the day. So your time is counting down. So this is a skill set that I taught my sister because if you are highly ambitious, highly goal-oriented person, time is like the biggest factor of how you get to or achieve the things that you are aspiring to do. And so you have to have a good relationship with time. And so I believe having a calendar allows you to do that. So if you have a teen and they don't have a calendar, or they don't have a system to kind of track the time in which they have something to do, this is a really good practical way to implement that. And so when she was a high school senior, obviously she had a whole lot of dates. She was in cotillion. She worked part-time. She also did something else. Oh, she's been playing the piano for the last 16 years. So she had a recital. She competed in a few competitions for piano. It was a very busy year. So, but it was good practice for us to put into place the power of a calendar. Because she was so busy, she had less time. And so I would ask her to write out the dates on the calendar. And if you were having due dates or you were processing due dates, write the due dates on the calendar too. But you would circle the due dates in red. And so it's a visual representation. This is how much time I have left. Our relationship with time is everything. And I think it's a good, practical, easy skill to implement. And I think this is a good time to implement it with teens because after they graduate high school, it's on them. It's survival mode, and they'll be balancing so many things. And so we empower them by giving them practical ways to already practice the skill sets that they will be responsible for after high school. And so that's why I love the idea of doing a calendar. Now, some of my students say, Linnita, I don't want to do paper. I want to do it on my phone. I just got off a coaching call with one of my students who prefers the digital calendar. Her mom came to me because she felt she was procrastinating. She was concerned that she was probably not going to go to college because she wasn't moving fast enough, nor was she displaying an interest in doing so. And so when she and I talked, she said, I really want to go to college. I want to go, but I'm a procrastinator, Linnita. That's what she told me. She said, I'm a procrastinator. I said, well, what do you do to track the things that you have to do? She was like, I don't track anything. Do you use your agenda book? She said, no. She actually laughed like, oh, girl, don't nobody use that. I said, okay, well, do you write things down? She was like, no. I said, so it's in your head. She was like, yeah. I said, how's that working for you? And so I suggested to her a calendar. And she was like, can I do it on my phone? And I was like, sure. I said, have you ever used the iCalendar app? She said, no, never. I was like, wow. So I had to teach her how to schedule something on her calendar. And so I did that. I screenshot it to her and I sent it to her. And she scheduled all of her due dates for her college application components in the calendar. And she added me to them. So I get an alert when she sets a date. And I get the alert as a reminder. So I also showed her how to set reminders to be reminded like 1 week away, 2 days away, due tomorrow. And she sent me a text message. I should have prepared to show it to you today, but she sent me a text message saying, thank you. Like, this is so much easier than managing it in my head. And I said, you just take that same principle and you apply it to everything else when I'm no longer here. And so the goal is that we teach them, to fish. We don't give them the fish. We teach them to fish. So we teach them how to fish so that they can feed themselves. Self-sustainability is a goal. All of these practical things that we talk about, the goal is self-sustainability, period. So how they arrive there, that's on them. Hey, Gary, thank you for tuning in tonight. So for her new year, new habit, although we did start in November with her new habit is putting things in her calendar, setting her own due dates, and monitoring her time. And so sometimes you all drop in, you're not a teen, but you just say, hey, listen, I could apply this too. Well, the same thing applies for you. If you do struggle with meeting deadlines, if you struggle with juggling multiple things and multiple responsibilities, and you find yourself commonly forgetting things, it's time to write something down. And so I live by a calendar. I never thought I'd be that person, but I definitely am that person. And so I've been empowering my students to do the same. And so it's a new year, and we want new habits. New habits. Okay? So listen, every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm here for our Teenage Thursdays. That's what I'm calling it, Teenage Thursdays. You don't have to be a teen to join. Most teens are not on Facebook, but their parents are, their mentors are, their loved ones and their siblings may be. And so I want you to meet me here every Thursday at 8 p.m. so I can give you practical ways to kind of like plant them seeds so that our young people get the harvest as they grow. All right, so I'm just a conduit. You're in the NICU, and I just come by the NICU sometimes, drop off the supplies. You take the supplies back home into the NICU, and you apply them to keep the sustainability and the life and the functionality of your young person just growing. And that's the whole goal here. All right, so that's our time for tonight. I'm Linnita Hosten, your favorite student success strategist, and I'll see you again on next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp. And certainly you can drop your takeaways in the comments, and I would love to respond to them. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.